Apparently the best way to avoid getting punished for drinking and driving is just be a cop. That or, not drinking and driving. Because what we're seeing from this investigation from the New York Times and the nonprofit newsroom New York Focus, it is shocking. Over the past 2 years, they got over 10,000 previously confidential disciplinary files detailing misconduct at roughly half the state's law enforcement agencies. And what they found is that some New York police departments have caught officers drinking and driving, and then they protected them from the punishments that you or I would face. Right? Because if you're not a cop and you're caught driving while intoxicated in New York, you're looking at like losing your license for at least 6 months. You'll face nearly $1,000 in fines, and you could even go to jail up to a year. And that's for a first-time offense. All that said, I'm imagining you're hearing this and you're going, well, it's not a surprise that officers give their brothers in blue special treatment. They even had a former police chief saying on the record, if I go 85 on the freeway, I'm not going to get a ticket, and saying, have I let people go occasionally? Of course, we all have. But that guy, as well as other former police chiefs and officers, were reportedly surprised that even officers responsible for crashes had avoided arrest. Right? According to this investigation, officers have collided with guardrails, parked cars, and even a moving police car with its lights on it. And then some have fled the scenes of accidents. Some have even shown up to work under the influence, one to a police station, another to a fire, a third to a crime scene. Officer Vincent Del Forte, for example, admitted to having 9 drinks before attending a basketball game, then a few more beers during the game, more drinks at 2 bars on the way home, and 3 more at his house before going to bed. And then he drove to work the next morning and tested above the legal limit, but was never charged. He just got suspended for 3 days and breath tested every shift for 6 months. And then this guy, Ronald Wilson, 11 p.m. on a Saturday night, he crashes his BMW into a Jeep, with the responding officer noting that Wilson's speech was slurred and he was off balance, his eyes were glassy, and he reeked of alcohol. But then Wilson showed ID, proving that he was an investigator with the state police, and the officer just never gave him a sobriety test. Wilson even admitted in an affidavit that he had been behind the wheel, and later admitted that he had 6 cocktails and a shot that night, but all he ended up getting was a traffic ticket for following behind another car too closely, and he got suspended without pay for 35 days. And just the damn cherry on top of this situation, the cop who responded to the scene of this crash, Andrew Kowalski, in June, he won the Erie County's DWI Enforcement Award. Right, and overall, this investigation found numerous cases of just cops not taking even the most basic steps to confirm if their fellow officers had driven drunk, despite significant indications that they had.